My seed potatoes just arrived in the mail. Receiving a shipment of high quality seed potatoes is like receiving a promise of a good harvest. I'm just going to finish this little harvest and I'll tell you why I think that. I purchased these seed potatoes this December past. They've just arrived, and that is my supplier's way of telling me it'll soon be time to plant them out. I have always only purchased seed potatoes. There is two reasons for that, so I'm going to run through those. Reason one is because it's ensuring that I get a clean crop, because these potatoes are certified, and that means they're disease-free or clean. The second reason is I'm hopefully doing my part in responsible gardening. So I'm going to go deeper into the two reasons to explain further. Many of you know the difference between, of course, a seed potato versus a grocery store potato. But it's interesting what you read or watch that maybe not everyone fully understands what a seed potato has to go through to get to your garden. I have a russet Burbank here. I bought russet Burbank, Norland, and Irish cobbler. These are all of my bags are classed Elite 1. I'm very particular where I buy my potatoes. I buy them from Prince Edward Island, who are well known for their potatoes. But I also know the farm this came from, I won't say the name, and the class. What a seed potato class is, there's 7 years, 7 generations a seed potato can be. And it starts with the nucleus. Then there's the classes that fall below the nucleus. A nucleus is a potato bred, seed only, basically in a laboratory, in the most pristine, perfect, controlled, scientific way. And from that, you get the other classes. Now, an Elite 1 is 2 down from that. So the Elite 1 means it can either be directly descendant or 1 down, further down. But an Elite 1 is 5 levels up from a standard certified potato. So certified and then all the elite classes. So this is very high up. All of them are a classified, certified potato that you can plant in your garden without worry. Whereas your grocery store potatoes, though they are regulated, they're all regulated by, in Canada here, I'm speaking only in Canada, I should clarify. Yes, I'll clarify. My experience comes mostly from Canada regulations, from many years of being in charge of quality assurance in a food processing facility. It's interesting to see, sometimes, I'm sure we all see it, we read something or watch something and the so-called gardening advice can be confusing. I just recently read a blog where they said the only difference is price and the fact that seed potatoes are sorted basically for size and shape. And that's just not true at all. That is in fact what the grocery store potatoes go through. We are regulated by CFIA here in Canada, and they certainly make sure our food quality in a grocery store has to pass every test, all the regulations and the audits, and ultimately the certification of every food facility. So a grocery store potato is in fact graded. Canada grade A1 or grade A, Canada grade 2. Maybe it's not A anymore. Grade 1, grade 2. And that is on the size, the shape, the color, being uniform, the packaging, the labeling, all the regulations that go into food consumption. Seed potatoes, not on the same planet, regulated by the CFIA also. However, they are bred solely and only for seed to go in the ground. So, grocery store potato, making sure your food is safe to eat and that it meets all the quality expectations you expect. Seed potatoes, make sure they're disease-free. And your grocery store is not concerned with that because you're eating them. It's totally different. That's reason one. I'm hoping that I can grow the healthiest potato I can, or at least set myself up for that. Second reason, I think, can probably be best explained through an example. Last year, I often explained how disappointed I was that I could not actually purchase my PEI potatoes from my supplier. I went to another supplier in another province, and for whatever reason, I really didn't have a good crop last year, but that's besides the point. The reason I couldn't get these potatoes, or anyone could, was CFIA, Canadian Food Inspection Agency, banned all export out of the province of their potatoes due to potato wart. Now, PEI, well known for growing potatoes and being so careful forever. I mean, they have to, if you want to bring a new variety in, you have to go through the Department of Agriculture and some bunch of hoo-ha to make sure, all kind of red tape to go get a new potato. And everyone's very aware it's their main industry. Their economy relies on it. So to have a ban on their export, they're exported all over the world, was such a big hit for them. And the reason being potato wart. So it was found through a long, lengthy investigation, and I think it took them a year to really figure out exactly where. They've narrowed it down to a kitchen gardener, and it spread to farms around. I think it only spread to 2 farms, and then recently I think they might have found it in another farm, so it's 3 now. Imagine being that gardener, the home gardener, responsible for not purchasing seed potato and bringing in a potato from somewhere. I'm not pointing fingers, but the only other place that potato wart exists currently in Canada, or ever in Canada, has been Newfoundland, which is why we can't carry dirt anywhere and have to wash our tires and everything else when we leave here. So I just would like to do my part, I guess, to ensure that something so huge and horrific I'm not responsible, or at least I'm doing my best to not be responsible for something like that. Potato, there's so many diseases that could be on a potato. Even aphids. Aphids carry themselves a bunch of diseases. So there's all kinds of things you don't want to spread. But potato wart, when in the ground, can hibernate for 40 years. So imagine that farmer, his sole income is from his potato fields that have been shut down, and who knows when he could be allowed or certified to open up again. I don't even throw potato scraps, my own, into the compost, my own compost. I actually send it off in the garbage to the dump. I never grow ever a potato from a grocery store, and I don't share my own grown potatoes for someone they can eat them, but to plant. Now, if somebody walked in the door and they wanted a seed potato, fill your boots. because these are certified and fine. So hopefully that's a little bit of info maybe you didn't know on the tiers that Canada has for a seed potato and all that a little old seed potato has to go through to clear to be safe to use in our gardens, and clear to limit the spread of some of the horrible diseases that could really ruin your neighborhoods, your farmers, your suppliers, your purchasers. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you're all doing well. Take care, and we'll see you next time.